So apparently, Sean Combs's lawyers, specifically his appellate attorney, Shapiro, Alexandra Shapiro, I think her name might be, has moved to stay the appeal. You know how he's appealing the bail? You know, you know how the lower court denied bail twice. And so the last denial, they appealed to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, this this appeal hearing was supposed to happen on November the 4th. You know how a lot of the YouTubers were saying, oh, he's denied bail twice, it's over. And, when they had that hearing earlier in the month, where the judge asked if they wanted to talk about the bail, and they said no. A lot of the YouTubers with huge followings were making very wrong statements, saying that the judge denied bail 3 times and yada, yada, yada. No, that's not correct. Bail was denied twice. And then when they went to court earlier in the month, in October, the judge asked if they wanted to raise a bail issue, like to discuss bail. And I think his attorneys declined because they had hired a new appellate lawyer. Her name is Alexandra Shapiro. Okay. And she specializes in appeals. So you have YouTubers talking about, oh, Agnafilo is just bad lawyer and he doesn't know what he's doing. And so Diddy hired new lawyers. It's not quite like that. As to my understanding, Agnafilo is still the lead attorney on his case, on Diddy's case. He's still the lead attorney, right? But Diddy hired another lawyer called Tony Rizzo, who is also a criminal law expert. And he hired an appellate lawyer. And if you're not a lawyer, you may not understand that, but appellate lawyers are specific types of lawyers. They only handle appeals. They specialize in appeals. So a defendant can have many lawyers on his team, and yes, he can have a lawyer specifically to handle his appeal. It doesn't mean that he's firing his main lawyer, Agnafilo. So, I mean, I saw that on one channel where I like the YouTuber a lot, but she's giving she doesn't understand that, and she's giving wrong information to her people, but whatever. Okay. So the appellate hearing, the appeal for the bail that was denied the second time is scheduled for November the 4th. But apparently what's happened now is that Diddy's lawyers have asked for that appeal that's pending for November 4th to be held in abeyance. That means to hold off, stay it, don't do anything, wait a second. We want to go back down to the lower court, to the district court, to do a third bail request, right? So they're going back at the apple to ask again in the lower court, where they were denied 2 times, for a new bail hearing. And they're saying that they want that because relevant new information has come to light since Diddy's detention, right? And what could that new information be? It's anybody's guess, because apparently in their motion, some information was redacted. Redacted means it was crossed out, it was blacked out, so the public can't read it, right? The public can't see it. But you know how they did those other motions for discovery? Discovery means to get all of the information that the prosecution has on the defendant, and the defendant also would share any information they have with the prosecutors as well, to prove their case. Witnesses, documents, emails, and so on and so forth. So they have been conducting discovery where they're exchanging those types of documents. And Diddy's lawyers are saying that after they exchanged these documents and they received certain documents from the prosecutors, it has now changed the case. It's changed the case because something that they received from the prosecutors, whether it's an email, whether it's a video, whether it's a witness testimony, whatever it is, totally blows up the prosecution's case. And so, well, if not blows it up, it certainly brings it into question. I mean, does the prosecution really have the strong case that they're telling the court they have that justifies keeping Diddy locked up in jail? So they are now moving to reopen the bail hearing because they're saying that they didn't know this information at the time of the first and second bail hearing in the district court. So that's where we are with Diddy and his bail hearing. Now, will they actually get a third bite at the apple? I don't think the judge has yet decided what to do, whether to hold the appeal or whether to allow them to go for a third time on the lower court. The U.S. prosecutor's office is very, very adamant that the appeal motion on November 4th should go forward and that the court should not allow Diddy a third bite at the apple of the lower court. Look, what do I think is likely to happen here? I don't know. You can't really ever know these things with these courts. I would say based on the prosecutor's indictment, what they're saying is that, among other things, he's a flight risk, blah, blah, blah. But their main concern is that, well, no, not them, but the judge, the second judge said his main concern is the obstruction of justice. That's why he put Diddy in jail, because Diddy has, a history, I guess, of contacting witnesses. And for the courts, that is equal to witness tampering and obstruction of justice. So the court is saying that they're not really concerned that Diddy is a flight risk, even though the U.S. prosecutor's office raised that issue as well, even though Diddy does not have his passport, even though I think he's selling his private jet, etc., etc. The U.S. prosecutor's office say that they are concerned about him being a flight risk. The court said, I'm not really concerned about him being a flight risk. I'm concerned about him tampering with witnesses and obstructing justice, because apparently the U.S. prosecutor's office have emails showing that Diddy and phone log records showing that Diddy contacted witnesses and, witnesses who had been subpoenaed by the grand jury and so on and so forth. And so they're really concerned about that. And of course, they're concerned about his dangerousness, given the Cassie video that shows that he's willing to beat up people and lie about it and so on and so forth. So what do I think will happen here? I mean, it's anybody's guess at this point, obviously. I don't even know what to say, whether I think that he will be granted the third bite at the apple, or whether the court will agree to stay the appeal, or what, But I would say that, I did read the one of the motions from the U.S. prosecutor's office, and I do think it's very light. I mean, you're bringing this guy up on racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to commit, prostitution or whatever. But, all they're talking about is the beat down in the hotel lobby. I mean, which is bad. I've said that repeatedly. I keep saying it. That was bad. There should be consequences for that. But that's not RICO. I mean, if that's the case, if that's RICO, then every man who's ever put his hand on his woman, his wife, his girlfriend, whatever, all committed RICO and should all spend the rest of their lives in jail. It's ridiculous, right? So again, absent more evidence, credible evidence that there was some conspiracy with a profit motive, a commercial gain motive, involving these freak-offs. And what you're looking at here is a violent man who commits domestic violence and potentially, consenting adults who engage in very, unsavory practices because they want to, and they're adults, right? And there's no law against, unsavory practices except insofar as it's not consensual, and it's going to be his word against her words. And the thing is that now that they're saying that after discovery, they have now new information that they didn't have the first and second time when they asked for bail, it makes me think that they're going to come up with something here. Anyway, listen, you guys, stay tuned for updates. And I will let you know when I hear anything new. Okay, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Do subscribe. Help out the channel if you like my content. Okay, take care. Bye bye.